Thank you for joining me here on this episode of Faith Between the Lines, and I'm Scott. There are some kinds of pain that don't make a noise. They don't scream, they don't break open in front of people, they don't spill out in ways others can recognize. Quiet pain is the kind that you tuck into your chest and carry like a secret. It's the ache behind your smile. It's the heaviness behind your strength. It's the exhaustion behind your "I'm okay." You learn to function with it. You learn to move through life with it. You learn to show up even when your heart is dragging behind you. And the world, they applaud you for being strong. But they don't know what it costs you. They don't know the nights that you've cried quietly into your pillow. They don't know the moments that you've held your breath just to keep from breaking. They don't know the prayers you whispered that never made it past your lips. Quiet pain is the kind that settles deep into your habits, settles deep into your decisions. It settles deep into the way that you see yourself. It becomes part of the identity without your permission. But here's the truth that you rarely say out loud. You didn't choose this pain. You've just learned how to carry it. And God sees that. He sees the weight that you've been holding. He sees the strength that you've been pretending to have. He sees the tears you never let fall. Quiet pain is still pain, and God is not blind to it. He's not distant from it. He's not disappointed by it. He is near, closer than you think, closer than your breath, closer than your breaking. There's a loneliness that comes with carrying what others don't understand. A loneliness that doesn't come from being alone, but from feeling unseen. You can be surrounded by people and still feel like you're drowning in silence. You can be loved and still feel misunderstood. You can be needed and still feel empty. Loneliness inside pain whispers lies. No one would believe you. No one would stay if they knew the whole story. No one would understand the depth of what you carry. So you've learned to keep it quiet. You've learned to hold it in. You've learned to be your own comfort, your own strength, and your own healer. But that's not what you were created for. God never designed you to carry the emotional weight alone. He never asked you to be your own savior. He never expected you to heal yourself. But loneliness tells you that you're abandoned. But God steps into the loneliness and says, "I'm here, I've always been here, and I am not leaving." He sits with you in places that you don't show anyone. He listens to the thoughts you don't say out loud. He holds the part of you that feel too heavy for anyone else. You are not too much for God. Your pain is not complicated. Your story is not messy. Your silence is not too quiet for him to hear. He is the God who meets you in the places you think no one can reach. Not the polished place, not the religious place, not the place where you pretend you're fine. God meets you in the honest place, the place where your voice shakes, where your faith trembles, where your heart feels fragile. Honesty is not a weakness. Honesty is worship. Honesty is surrender. It's the moment you stop performing for God and start being real with Him. You don't have to pray perfect prayers. You don't have to sound strong. You don't have to hide your doubts. God doesn't heal the version of you that you pretend. He heals the version of you that is real. When you whisper, "God, I'm tired," He says, "I know." When you whisper, "God, I'm hurting," He says, "I'm here." When you whisper, "God, I don't know what to do," He says, "Let me guide you." God is not moved by performance. He is moved by truth. And the most spiritual thing that you can do sometimes is simply be honest. When you begin to heal, you will notice that healing is not a straight line. It's not a quick fix. It's not a moment when everything suddenly makes sense. Healing is a journey, a slow, sacred, holy journey. Some days you feel strong. Some days you feel broken. Some days you feel like moving forward. Some days you feel like starting over. All of that is normal. Healing is not about speed. It's about surrender. It's about letting God rebuild what life tried to destroy. You don't have to rush your healing. You don't have to pretend you're further along than you really are. You don't have to apologize for needing time. God is patient with you. He is gentle with you. He is committed to you. He doesn't measure your progress. He measures your heart. And every small step you take, even the shaky ones, even the slow ones, even the ones that feel like nothing, God calls them holy. Healing is messy. Healing is sacred. And healing is worth it. And you are worth healing. As a reflection of this episode, I wrote a short poem for it called The Weight I Never Spoke. I carried pain in silence, thinking silence made me strong. But strength was never in the hiding. It was in the letting God come along. My tears became a language that heaven understood. And in the quiet of my breaking, God turned my pain to something good. There comes a moment, not loud, not dramatic, when the weight that you've carried for years feels a little lighter. You breathe differently. You think differently. You hope differently. Not because everything is fixed, but because God is carrying what you used to carry alone. Quiet pain becomes a lift when you stop holding it in the dark and start letting God hold it in the light. You don't heal by being strong. You heal by being held. And God is holding you now in the places you've been afraid to show, in the wounds that you've been afraid to touch, in the memories you've been afraid to revisit. This lifting is slow. The lifting is gentle. And the lifting is real. And one day you will look back and realize the pain didn't disappear, it transformed. It became the place where God met you, the place where God carried you, and the place where God rebuilt you. I would like to close this episode with a blessing to you. May the God who sees in secret meet you in the places that you've carried alone. May the weight that you've been holding in silence begin to lift from your shoulders. May honesty become your doorway to healing. And may healing become the story you live. You're not alone. You are not forgotten. And your quiet pain is safe in God's hands. I want to thank you for joining me here on this episode of Faith Between the Lines. And I hope I met you right where you are. You being here in this space matters, where your questions or comments are always welcome and can be left on YouTube or on Buzzsprout. Before I close, I want to take a moment to honor the families and the men and the women of our military. Those who serve, those who have served, and those who stand behind them with quiet strength. Your sacrifice, your courage, your commitment to this great country do not go unnoticed. May God bless you, protect you, and surround you and your families with peace and gratitude from all of us. And always remember this, you are never walking alone. We'll see you here next time.